high. You'll feel it flowing through your mind. I'm gonna lift your soul tonight. You'll be alright. Here comes the light. You'll be alright. Here comes the light. You'll be alright. Here comes the Here comes the light. Feels like we're already broken. Stacked up too many mistakes. Thought we were bound by devotion, but now you're just another heartbreak. You don't see what this means if I'm speaking honestly. It's gonna take a little longer for us to find peace again. It might take a little longer for us to be real again. I know I swore we'd be fine, but that was then just a lie. It might take a little longer for us to heal again. Heal again. Had my trust for over 3 years. Guess you never understood. Might take twice that time to see clear, but I give it back if I could. You don't see what this means if I'm speaking honestly. It's gonna take a little longer for us to find peace again. It might take a little longer for us to be real again. I know I swore we'd be fine, but that was then just a lie. It might take a little longer for us to heal again. Heal again. We had painted out future dreams. We swore we'd never lose. You'll forever be a part of me, but I can't go back that soon. It might take a little longer for us to be real again. I know I swore we'd be fine, but that was then just a lie. It might take a little longer for us to heal again. I can feel the night collide, haunted by the tears we hide. Echoes running through my mind, even though I swore I'd leave them all behind. Show me your face, it cuts like a flame. You're pulling the strings.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's status session in the Enter All Into Tech for Good series. Come on, guys, let's give Tech for Good Africa applause in this comment section. I mean, it's been great so far. I'm sure you can hear the excitement in my voice. Honestly, I'm super, super excited. for this evening session. I'm sure it's going to be fire, it's going to be mind blowing. And I just want you guys to raise your mind and be ready for what's going to happen this evening. You know, it's been an incredible journey so far, from energy, from education, to design, to media rather. We've seen how technology, innovation, and purpose can actually drive real change in our community, in our nation, in our continent, and making Africa a global pace setter. You know, we've seen how much we need to invest in these frameworks that Tech for Good Africa is guided by. And today we are diving into one of the most powerful tool in that journey, which is data. Data, D-A-T-A, data. Come on, think about it for a moment. Every decision, every impactful decision, every successful innovation, every sustainable solution, they begin with one thing. One thing is common, and that thing is understanding the data behind it. Now, I'm sure we have all heard about the popular saying that data is the new oil. We even put it out in our recent article. Please, you guys should go to Tech for Good Africa LinkedIn page and check out the article. There's some gems right there you don't want to miss. So data is the new oil. And that has got me thinking, if data is the new oil, then who do you think are the oil tycoons? Now we can relate it to oil in Nigeria, crude oil. We have oil. We know the oil tycoons. So let's relate it to data being the new oil. Who do you think are the tycoons? Is it those that are collecting the data, or those that are analyzing it, or those that are using it to drive social change? Guys, I want to hear your thoughts. Please drop your answers in the question. I'm asking a question now. If data is the new oil, who do you think are the oil tycoons? Is it those people that are collecting data? Is it those that are analyzing it? Or those that are using this data to drive social change? I am the data tycoon. Yes, that's right. That's coming from our president, Mr. Salmon. So, a snip tip, guys. I'm sure you've seen it all over our socials. Our president is going to be dropping some fire tonight. So, guys, I'm still waiting for your comment too. Who do you think are the oil tycoons? Is it the data collectors, the data analysts, or those that are using it to drive change? Guys, let me hear your feedback. So we have 10 people in this call. Come on, drop your comment. The data analysts, those using it to drive change. Beautiful, beautiful. You know what? You guys are all right. You are all correct. Because here's one thing about data. Just like crude oil, if we don't do much, if we don't touch crude oil, it's just there. Until we refine it, that is when we can actually use it for our good. So, yes, thank you very much, Douglas. I was about to say that they are all equally important, and it is important for us to define these roles. Not everybody is going to be data collectors, not everybody is going to be data analysts, and not everybody is actually going to be using data probably on a large scale. We are all definitely going to be using data to make impact, but we need innovators like Tech for Good Africa. We need data to do something big, like the ecosystem, the eco platform. We need data to do big. And today, we are going to learn how to refine data into insights, into innovation and impact. We've got incredible speakers lined up, guys. Today is going to be fire. We are going to see how data tell stories, shape designs, help us to measure real difference that we are making. So, guys, stay engaged. Please prepare your minds, prepare your questions, keep those thoughts coming, even as our speakers are speaking to us. So, once again, I am welcoming you to the data session. Come on, let's give applause. If you know your friend that is supposed to be on this call and is not on this call right now, send them a text. Tell them it's happening live at Tech for Good Africa. Yes, yes, yes. So we're going right on to our first speaker. He's ready and geared to talk to us. So I'm just going to be reading his bio before he comes up to speak. All right, so we have Mr. Olufemi. Dr. Olufemi Olaya Balogun. He is a physician scientist and data scientist at the Massachusetts General Hospital and Harvard Medical School. Affiliated with OpenSimplify, his work applies to machine learning, NLP, and advanced analytics to tackle global health challenges such as stroke, cardiovascular disease, and infectious outbreak. He is a graduate of the University of Ilorin and Boston University, and he's led NH and CDC-funded research, published in top journals like PLOS One and Hepatology Communication. He's a co-author of Metabolic Steatotic Liver Disease and member of the AASLD Steering Committee. Dr. Balogun has received the Pillars of Excellence Award at MGH. He advances the Tech for Good vision, leveraging data and digital innovation to drive health equity globally. Guys, let's give a round of applause for Dr. Olufemi Olaya Balogun as he comes up to speak to us about doing data for good. I can't see your excitement in the comments, so you're welcome, sir. Over to you now, sir.
Thanks, Denolo. Okay. So today I've been tasked by the visionary leader for Tech for Good to speak on clinical data for good. I've had quite experience with using clinical data basically for global health and for the global good. So I'm just going to do an overview of some of the projects we've used data and how we've applied it specifically to help improve health equity, both in Africa and then even outside Africa. So just a glance through, these are some of the ongoing projects we've been able to utilize data to try and improve health outcomes. One of them is the use of intermittent fasting in non-obese adults, trying to see their outcomes in terms of liver outcomes, in terms of cardiovascular outcomes. And then this basically was restricting patients or people generally into two groups. One, those who were going to eat just within an 8-hour window period, and outside those 8-hour window period, the 16 hours, they're going to go on a fast. Well, I'm sure most of us are familiar with this. And then the second one is steatosis detection, which just means fatty liver, means the presence of strands of fat around the liver, and how we're able to use data to detect them in the electronic medical records, and then be able to help with the flow in terms of reporting them, referral, and then further evaluations, and then possible treatments. This will be the focus. I'm just going to single this one out and then try to explain how we use data in improving health outcomes, especially as regards to fatty liver. Then the third one, cardiovascular, let's leave it as just jargons, and I don't want to bore you with that. Some of other projects we've been able to use data is the tobacco type 2 diabetes mellitus project. So in this one, basically we looked at the data, clinical data, and then we classified people into 3 groups. The first group are those without diabetes and who don't smoke. Then the second one are individuals with a background diabetes but non-smokers. And then the third one are individuals who had type 2 diabetes, like on the background, and then who also smoke. We try to compare their health outcomes, the different health outcomes, liver functions, cardiovascular functions and other metabolic functions, and we're able to see that just removing even tobacco use in a patient who has type 2 diabetes, was quite significant in terms of their health outcomes, even compared to those who use tobacco and all. Of course, the optimal desire would be like no tobacco use, no type 2 diabetes, but type 2, some of these cases are also have like a genetic predisposition and the likes. Then some of the other projects was trying to compare liver cancer, the cost effectiveness of doing like twice yearly ultrasound scan and then versus an MRI to see which one was more cost effective in terms of trying to more like a yearly health checkup or liver checkup and the likes. So I'll leave the remaining and I'll focus on the one we're going to talk today. So the first one is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, how we're able to use data to improve the health outcomes in patients with fatty liver disease. So fatty liver disease, as I've said, is just an incident where you see where radiologists, whether you're doing an ultrasound and then the radiologist sees like strands of fat around the liver. Now, the thing is, it's quite common. And most of the time, they don't do anything. It's quite, it has a long course. There's no any immediate consequences. And then there's a high probability of it being neglected for a while because it has no immediate consequences. So one of the ways we use the data was to check patients or people who don't drink and then try to see how to improve their health outcomes, mostly in Africa and then outside Africa, but I'm going to be Africa focused. So just for a background, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is the leading cause of chronic liver disease. You might not know, but it's actually the leading cause of chronic liver disease, even though people are not so aware, and those who are aware don't take it serious. As I said, it takes a long course, about 10, 20 years. 1 to 3 people are going to have, like if you see 3 people, 1 of them are most likely to have fatty liver disease. And then one of the consequences is that one of the consequences of fatty liver is that it can progress to cirrhosis. I'm sure we're all familiar with cirrhosis, which is like an end-stage liver disease. And then this cirrhosis is the leading indication for transplants. Like for people who are being transplanted, this is the leading cause. And then one of the management is lifestyle modification in terms of alcohol cessation or at least reduction to a minimum level, tobacco use, reducing it, and then exercise, good diet like a Mediterranean diet and the likes. And then there are some potential therapeutic targets which I'll not discuss. And then there are also some drugs now in different phases of development, phase 1 to phase 4. And some of them we are familiar with, which some of the weight loss drugs which are becoming more popular now, the Ozempic, Wegovy, and all that. They have been repurposed to be used. There were actually diabetes drugs. They have been repurposed to use in weight loss and then in fatty liver. So now, so this is just jargons, but the one I just want you to face is this is the normal liver on the left. This is how it's supposed to look, shining, no nodules. The surface is smooth and everything. And this is steatosis, which is just a fancy way of saying fatty liver. And then we see, so our data was targeted at this level to ensure that the conditions to the right have prevented the inflammation and then the cirrhosis. So our data was focused on capturing people who had steatosis and ensuring that they are being, like, through the clinical data, through the electronic medical records, a kind of process stuff that kind of just refers patient, sends them for diagnosis or more evaluation and then possible treatment. Now, as I said, our data focus on identifying fatty liver, how to report them, and then evaluating them and possible treatment. So this was the process map during the old data use. I just want to take you through the process. So if someone comes to the hospital, comes to see a primary care, like a GP or a specialist, whichever one, and it comes with different complaints. It could be cardiovascular, it could be like an heart stuff, a cough, a tummy ache, and the likes. And then during the process of investigating the person or trying to evaluate what's wrong with the person, they send the person for like an ultrasound just to do due diligence. And then oftentimes in the ultrasound, you see reports over and over, this patient has or this person has a fatty liver, but it's often ignored both by the individual being assessed and then even by the doctors. As I said, because it has no immediate consequences. So that's where one of the gaps we identified that, okay, people come, it's reported and nothing is done. So what should we do about it? So we began to like develop like machine learning models, natural language processing to be able to like filter this in the radiology report and then be able to send them for follow-ups, for referral to like specialists, and then for possible treatment and then checkups later. So this was a process map. And then which part of AI did you use? So we use natural language processing. We're able to apply NLP to be able to like train a subset of some of the data we have. We train them manually, and then we're able to test them electronically, like doing the 75%, 25%, no more jargon, but we're able to do that. And then through that, we're able to like use it real life and the real world to be able to pick up real cases and then be able to like follow up on them, refer them, and then to what do you call it? So for possible treatment. And then in doing this, as Temolo was talking about, he started talking about the process of gathering data, analyzing data, and then the application of data. Now, before we even get to like data use, the application of data, we must first talk about the preparation. And in terms of preparation, data is fine. We said the data is the new oil, is the new gold, whatever acronym or whatever comparison we want to use it for. But also, before we even go into data, like we must be sure the data we're taking are actually like making sense. One of the ways we know they are making sense, is it accurate? A lot of times you see that a lot of data are not accurate. Is it complete? We have like a lot of sparse data and everything. And it's almost like the stuff we usually learn, like when we're way younger, like what goes in comes out. So it's what you feed into the system, into the, whatever system is using to analyze, to process it, that is going to bring out the same to feed out like a bad quality or a poor quality data is going to get, the outcome is going to be terrible too. And then the third one, is it robust? How large is the data set? You can have like some data set in terms of health data. So oftentimes you need to have like 100,000 data sets, millions. And even if you are talking about genomic studies, they're going to have like using of genomic data to, at least in the real world, yeah, probably going to talking about the millions to billions of data sets. So it's the richer the data, the more likely you're going to get your desired outcomes. And to be fair, one of the things we have been also like we have also been advocating for, at least in Africa, is I think the first and the second part, which is the accuracy and the completion. Because in the past, like 5 to 10 years ago, there was always issues of poor data quality, falsification of data, regardless of how we want to like admit this, but those were the reality. And that was one of the reasons why a lot of people, especially in terms of health data, began to move from Nigeria. Nigeria was the hub for clinical data years back, decades back, but they began to move to Zambia, Uganda, and some of our projects were also done in Uganda because they could trust the data that were coming out from Uganda, from Zambia, in terms of accuracy, in terms of completion, versus now. Now more advocates have been done, more awareness, and people are becoming more like are trying to at least improve on that aspect. So this was the report eligibility flow chart. We had like 21,000 initial charts, and then we decided to do a subset of them. This is still small, but it was just like a preliminary, like a pilot test of those data. And then we tested them on 1,000 patients. And what we did was, I know this, we're not supposed to like go fully into like medical jargons and all, but just to understand the process of how we're able to use data, even from data preparation, even to the application of this data. So we did a manual review of a subset of a larger clinical radiology reports in the electronic medical records. So we do the assigned 4 members to go through about 1,007 reports, then to do a manual binary classification of those reports, many zeros and ones. This person, did he have like fatty liver? Zeros? Yes, that's one. No, no fatty liver and the likes. And then after doing that, we began to like use it to test the data. We trained it on 75% of the data set, and then we're able to test it on 25% using natural language processing. So it shows like the wide application of wide application of data, the data used in terms of doing good for populations, for communities, both vulnerable, non-vulnerable, and the likes. And then just to go, some of the other areas that we've also been able to use data for, especially in the clinical context, have also been in neurology. So one of the applications we did was to create a machine learning algorithm that was able to pick up patients with acute stroke early and then be able to refer them for diagnosis and treatment. Then we also see that it's also been very popular in cardiology and then in pathology, especially in terms of echo, the use of data in echo classifying people based on their health risk, their cardiovascular risk, and then in pathology, in radiology, as I spoke about some minutes ago. And then also, what are the advantages of actually using data in medicine? I use natural language processing since it's the application of we're actually using to process the data. So one of them is electronic phenotyping, which is just another fancy way of saying extracting specific or very relevant information from radiology reports in the electronic medical records. I've been able to scale, like using the NLPs, the data use, we've been able to like go through thousands and thousands of data rather than going through the manual one, and then be able to structure more of the unstructured reports in the electronic medical records, and then also being important in terms of incidental detection of priority like conditions or health problems in patients or in people generally. So these are the application. As we all know, clinical data is very specific. I'm not going to go through this, just the first one, report the identification. So clinical data are they are very peculiar in terms of people are very you can't access people's names, addresses, specific protected health information, and because of all this compliance, regulatory compliances and the like, so we're able to identify them and ensure that we're using it for like in a safe and ethical and moral way. This also, I'm not going to rush into this. And yeah, so some other ways we've also been able to use data, at least data for good in parts of Africa and then globally is also to optimize drug regimens and then treatment based on individual characteristics. So using data, we're able to analyze people's data, like clinical data, and then be able to categorize them, whether they are high risk for even conditions that have not yet developed, more of like subclinical diagnosis without like years before even developing those stuff. A patient who's likely to have like diabetes, a late onset diabetes, we're able to like pick it up early and then be able to like recommend lifestyle modifications, exercise early to prevent it. So that's one of the interesting things about data, early diagnosis, even before the re-diagnosis, and then putting in measures to ensure that it doesn't develop. Then also personalized treatment plans for those who already have like different health conditions through analyzing large patient data. The other part we've also been able to use data for is predictive analytics in terms of predicting disease progression for someone who has like condition, ability to predict how fast and how worse that disease is going to go, and then identifying the particular people who are going to be at risk, and then providing early intervention strategies and the likes to help to improve patient outcomes. I'll not bore you with this. This was one of the results of our NLP modeling. And then when we used the data and then applied natural language processing, other machine learning algorithms, and then tried to see their performance to see how reliable these models were, we saw that, it got like almost 98% sensitivity, 93% specificity, precision was 80%, which is in a clinical world is still quite high, and then accuracy was 94%. What we're expecting, F1 score on board with that was 88%. But generally, this was a very good, at least the tool we developed using those data was a very good one in being able to detect certain health conditions. So some of the future directions were like using this data as well in clinical parts for good is ability, as we said before, apply it to like radiology reports, clinical data, the ability to identify gaps, and then to determine missed opportunities, and then it also opens up doors for multidisciplinary collaboration, interdepartmental collaboration, and then even intersectorial collaboration, and then being able to also implement more like intervention strategies, recommendations, and the likes, and then also being able to use it, especially in this time of AI, in identifying potential drug candidates, and then improving drug or not even improving and then speed up drug discovery, and then also the application in medical image analysis. We are seeing more of that in Africa and in Nigeria, in South Africa. We are seeing in Kenya. We are seeing a lot of medical image analysis and the use of data in this, and I've talked about collaborations and then extraction. I think we've talked about that already. So that's just the overview. I don't want to bore you with so many stuff. So thank you. If anyone has any questions or remarks, just let me know.
Thank you very much, sir. That was a powerful session and just goes to show how important data is even in the clinical sector. So my question, okay, I have a question. If you have a question, please, you can signify by raising your hand. But before we go on to ask our question, let's appreciate our speaker for that powerful session. It was exciting, it was impactful. It's beautiful to see how much data, how much data can do to improve our health. Have anybody got questions before I go ahead with my question? Questions. No questions? All right, I'm just going to go ahead with my own question. So my question, sir, is this research that you've done, I think it's overseas, right? So in a country like Nigeria, where we can't even get our primary health sector to function as it should, how do we how do we establish um how do we establish this kind of research in a country whereby we are struggling to fund even the basic amenities? Do you have suggestions on what the government can do, or private organizations or entities like Tech for Good Africa, what we can do to make sure that this kind of thing is happening here and live? I hope you got that, sir.
Yeah, I did. Thanks, Temilwa, for the question. Awesome question. Awesome. So I think from my own end, I at least I know for like I think 12 to 15 years ago in Nigeria, there were like initiatives to also like improve improve electronic medical records in Nigeria in terms of switching from the manual records. So if you go to as I said, most of the primary healthcare centers and all, like they're still suffering, like they're still struggling to get the basic stuff right, or the basic needs met and the likes. But we realize that we have huge data that are still locked up in medical records, like physical rooms, records that are there for like 20, 30 years. And it's, of course, because of how stressful, how financially cumbersome it's going to be to transform all those data into like digital formats. I think that's one of the struggles. It's going to take a lot of private partnerships in terms of just like the Tech for Good of Africa, Tech for Good Africa is doing, and then being able to bring partners in, and then being able to like continue reorientating, because even the people in the hospital themselves, there are a lot of people that want to do it, but I think it just requires a lot of reorientation, and then more of like government giving the infrastructures, because once the infrastructure is right, uh like Samuel usually says, like once infrastructure is not, it's hard for things to get like to get things right. So once the government puts infrastructure, then the public-private partnership, I think, is going to pave way. But it's still we are getting there, especially in Africa, but I think it's just going to be a gradual process. I don't know if I answered your question very well, so I'm just trying to.
Yes, you did, sir. Thank you very much. So I think one thing that we need to do is to call our government into order to make sure that they start putting in more work. I recently saw that they disbursed some money to primary health centers. Maybe we can get to push this kind of narratives to be included in their budget planning whatsoever. So a question that was dropped in the comments says, how can medical data be integrated to identify for open source impact? How can medical data be integrated to identify for open source impact? Over to you now, Sir Doctor.
I think I'm trying to understand the question properly. I'm not.
Let me just ask it. Let me just ask the question. I asked the question. Thank you so much, Doctor. Great, just heavy learning here today. So I was just wondering, many of these data that you mentioned, some of them have to do with livers, some of them have to do with hearts. Some of these things are connected to people's identity, and then it's particular to a race, and then it's particular to a location. So what I was asking is, how do we integrate medical data into identity so that it can then become open source for people to be able to access to solve other issues? I know medical records are very secretive, it's not really exposed. Do you see medical record being integrated into open source or are there any open source medical record that one can pull to be able to use for to build these NLPs or these machine learning models?
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I think yes, as I said, because of the protected information from people's clinical data, it's very peculiar, and it becomes more difficult to just do a lot of open source or release open source data outside because of obvious reasons. But outside, I think even in Africa, like there are quite some open data now. Are they robust? No, they are not yet robust. They are still building them up for obvious reasons. But globally outside, I think outside Africa, there are lots from the UK, billions and billions of data available to do open source projects, open source initiatives, and all. But doing that, and I think that's where people, like in terms of the tech meets health comes in. They can definitely do a lot of collaboration with the tech sector, even in Nigeria, and just having a kind of understanding of the peculiarity of the data, and then being able to properly de-identify those data. Once they are properly de-identified, they are free to the open source. That is just the identification. Once you get that right, then I think there's no issue with pulling them out or putting them out there for open source project and likes. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Doctor. That's powerful.
That's teaching, because I believe it was a teaching.
Okay, so it's not just me. Okay, I guess I should just jump in here and do my own introduction and also jump into the session with myself. I guess that's the best thing for me to do here, so we don't keep everybody waiting. Truly enjoyed that session from Dr. Femi. Very powerful session, and it just opens the door to what I'll be talking about today. And again, I don't need to introduce myself. You can read my bio here. Very particular about the infrastructure, so you can see that I'm trying to raise 100 billion naira to fund data infrastructure so that we can build civic tech. Some of the things like civic tech are data platforms that can help us, but also green innovation across Africa, because many of our resources have been stolen. One of the biggest things that is being said about Africa is that agriculture is one of the things that would make us billionaires. And we have some of the largest arable land. These are data. 35% of the arable land in the world is in Africa. So we have a lot of planting, we have a lot of fisheries. So our green innovation is something that can help us to also become billionaires of the future. So I'm excited for what I'm about to share with you guys today. So please just give me a second. I'm going to stop sharing this and share my presentation slide, and we'll just jump right into what I want us to talk about today. Truly excited about it. Okay. All right, share my screen. There we go. Cool. Please, guys, just give me a second. Let me just get myself together. Okay, great. Can everyone see my screen? Please just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Yeah? Can everyone see my screen? I'm not getting any feedback. Guys, can you all see my screen? Okay, awesome. Thank you. Sound is a bit low. Okay, I'll just try and speak up so that everyone can hear me. If you can hear me, is that okay? I hope you can hear me now. All right, cool. Awesome. Okay, great. So I really wanted to talk about today about data innovation. As you heard, Doctor, many of the things he said was we definitely have a lot of data. There's possibilities for us to do more, but we're not doing more from Africa. And to do that, we all have to become data innovators. And so I'm going to run through a topic today of talking about why data matters, what is our context in Africa, how can you become a data innovator yourself, and possibly just end with just inspiring each and every one of you guys to, while we're at Tech for Good Africa, some of the things we can do. Today, we've just even heard from Doctor, who's someone who's already doing great work in MIT, already telling us that, look, there's already two ways we can do things to help our health. One is infrastructure, we can build the infrastructure. Another thing we can do in Tech for Good Africa is we can sit with the health, tech meet health, and literally just gave me a thought about we don't want to be a community where we're just doing big events and people are just coming to it. No, we're very intentional about how do we do things like Doctor recommended now, meeting health, collaborating and saying where is the peculiarity of the data that we need and to identify, and then make those open source that can help our developers, our data scientists, our doctors, people in university to do better. And I was hoping Doctor was going to share more about his platform, but I know he's still building that. And these are some of the things of, if we go and do that now, we can give a Doctor with his platform the ability to give people data to do research, open source data that can help people do research, help us solve problems before they even happen, help us heal our hearts and all that kind of stuff. So it's a joy to welcome you all to this movement of change. We're change makers across Africa. I know that we're only 17 here, but we're going somewhere. And as you're joining this as ambassador, today I want to just talk to you about data, the power that is defining our 21st century, and how you can become a data innovator for your nation, your local space, your sector. Because the truth is that Africa's greatest wealth is not under the ground, which is what they've told us for years, that the reason we're wealthy is because we have oil that's on the ground. It is our people, our communities, and our daily realities. One of the things I wrote in university when I finished my degree in economics was I wrote about the fact of the limitation of African youth in Africa's economic development. And I used a theory called the Kalman's filters theory, which is also used for global warming, to share with the Western guys where I did my degree in, to tell them that, look, you can't put African youth as slaves anymore. Now they're going to populate the world so much. They're going to be in your country, in their country, the continent themselves. They're going to be a lot. So how do you want to use these people? So you know that our wealth is not under the ground, is our people, our community, our daily realities. And that wealth is data. It's the data of you, it's the data of my friend, it's the data of me and my friend working together. And so we'll just go through that. We're not just collecting data, we're here to cultivate destiny. So why does data matter? Let's start with this idea. Data is the raw material of the modern world. Every innovation, from artificial intelligence to fintech to e-commerce, smart city, all of these things that you're hearing now are all running on data. And you're not hearing small money from these companies. Fintech companies already becoming unicorns. Artificial intelligence, in less than 2 to 3 years, the company is already worth over $600 billion. All these things are running on data. It's not oil anymore. Oil is gone. If you are still working in oil and gas, you are wrong, right? In the past, oil will power our economy like Nigeria, but today, data powers decision, is powering innovation, and is even powering the growth that we're seeing in the world. But unlike oil, data is everywhere. You know, if you're looking for oil now, you have to have a company that goes and do a seismic study what's under the ground, and then you have to now excavate the oil and so on and so forth. But data is everywhere. It's in the markets, it's in your school, it's in the traffic, it's in our climate, it's even in the conversation online. Like we're having this conversation now, we're recording it, it pulls out data, it's everywhere. Where we learn, when we learn how to collect, clean, and use it, we can solve problems faster, we can build smarter, and even design better future. So you even understand a little bit about our concept of E equals md cubed as we go on today. So I say to you today, without data, we are blind. With data, we can design a better world. So just moving on to the African context. Africa, there's a situation, let's just be there. There's a situation in our continent. Africa holds 70% of the world's population. And by 2050, I think it's 2050, 2040, we would host, I think, almost 50% of the world's population. It's interesting to see this. But with this, we contribute less than 1% of global data. That's crazy. How can a continent that, holds this amount of population have this amount of data contribution to whatever is happening across the world? For the AI that we're using now, the ChatGPT, that means the percentage we have contributed there is probably 0.2 or probably 0.15, because we're not contributing anything. We're just keeping our data here, as Doctor mentioned. Some of it are sitting in the hospitals, not digitalized. That means most of our data, the data used to make global decisions about us, our education, our health, our environment, does not come from us. It's time to change it. It's time that, because that data that truly represents Africa must be generated by Africans, by you, people who live in the reality of our communities, our challenge is not that we don't lack this that we lack this data. Our challenge is that much of it, as the doctor was saying, is unstructured, some of it are unused, and some of it are unverified. I was sad when I heard the story that Nigeria used to have one of the most credible data when it comes to health. Now they are going to Gambia, to Zambia. I'm thinking, what? Why? Nigeria has some of the largest population of black people. How come we are not the one verifying data? We're not the one structuring it. We're not the one using it. And that's why Tech for Good Africa is raising you guys as an ambassador, like you, to become data innovators who can turn this information into innovation, right? We need to structure our data, we need to use them, and we need to verify them. Our reality is we don't lack data, we just lack data organizations, data innovations, and that is why you're here. So the next digital revolution in Africa will not just come from Silicon Valley. They won't tell us how we're going to do things. It will come from our streets, collecting it from your school, from the markets, from the communities, when we begin to value and use our data. So what is data innovation? A lot of us are always focused on, when we talk about tech, I always think of tech people always focusing on what the Western people have told us to do, and then we start doing tech from that place. So next thing you know, I'm learning how to be a data analyst. I'm learning how to become a data scientist. I'm learning how to become a data engineer. Nobody's becoming a data innovator, which is something we should be doing. It's crazy. We need to start creating our own type of jobs when it comes to this tech, because tech for us is different, is new, it is transformational, that we're supposed to be doing it by changing our mindsets. So you, as on this call, are one of the first people hearing about data innovators. So we are going to be doing it from Tech for Good Africa with African Technology Leadership Academy to shape courses that help people to become data innovators. You don't have to be a data analyst to be a data innovator. You don't have to be a data scientist to be a data innovator. You don't have to be a data engineer to be a data innovator. Those skills can help, but data innovation is the creative and ethical use of data to generate insights, solutions, and new value for society, business, and government. And you don't have to do that by being a data analyst. First of all, go and help us collect the data first. Just collecting the data first is already an innovation. You have already started to see where is the problem. Where is the problem? It simply means data is creative, data is ethical. So if I create a way of, I want to solve this problem, and don't look at it from the problem solving from the money you make when you solve the problem, but from the what is making this problem exist, and then look at what is the ethics around it. A data innovator will ask questions like, how can this information improve lives? Right? This information that everybody's looking at. You know, the other day I was sitting with someone in the meeting, we're looking at a plant, and I told the person, what's the name of this plant? The person said, I don't know. I said, the reason we don't know is because you don't know what this thing is going to do. If you had a sickness, a disease, and you knew there is this plant that will solve your problem, you become a herbalist. You start checking the name of the plant, you start checking why the plant exists. But you see, now we have that in Africa. We're not innovating from a place of collecting the data so that we can now know what it can do for us. We are waiting for somebody to give us the data so that we can now analyze and make money. And that is a big problem already. Let me give you a few examples. For example, using climate data to help farmers predict rainfall. You are not in the Western world. You are not predicting climate action so that you reduce the destruction of your, or you're having hurricane, or you know them now, they're doing the analysis based on they're having hurricane, they're having wind, fire burning everywhere in California. There's something happening to them. It's as if there's a plague going on with them. But with us, we just need to eat more food. Do you guys know that egg is still 6,000 naira for a crate, even though inflation has come down? Do you know that food is still expensive? The average Nigerian spends 80% of their salary on eating food. Food is expensive. Why don't we start using climate data to help predict rainfall for farmers? To tell them this is where rain will fall. Just give them the data so that they will plant more food. Food will become cheaper. Using health data to reduce maternity mortality. Kids are dying every day. Thank God for Bill Gates and how he has reduced that with the Bill Gates Foundation. He used data. It was data he used to say, okay, let's collect health data. Why is it that children are dying every day? Because of him now, the mortality rate has reduced. Normally, it used to be over 7 to 8 children per day dying. I think it's even more than that. I'm coming up with these numbers on top of my head. Children dying every day. But he has reduced that now because of data. Using transport data to design safer city. I know Lagos already has one, data for traffic or something that they use to make traffic better in Lagos. Using educational data to improve learning outcomes. Why is it that people are going to school and not coming out and solving problems in their nation? Is it that the education system is not working properly? If you ask people now, the next thing they will say is we should need to write a new curriculum. What curriculum are we going to write when we have not even collected the data of our education? We have not collected the data of how schools are, the standards of our school, what is happening in the educational system. We need to see data differently. You see, data innovation isn't just about coding or analytics. It's about seeing connections others cannot see. A data innovator does not wait for the perfect data. They organize already what exists, clean it, and transform it into action. So what is the role of this data innovator? Why do we have this data innovator? 3 things. 1 is to bridge the gap between problems and solution. The other is to tell a story of what has been happening. And the third part is to be a builder who turns these insights that you've gotten into innovation. Trust me, some of the reasons why your innovation, your entrepreneurship, things you're trying to do are not being solved is because you have not bridged the gap with the data. I'll give you an example. I was sitting in a meeting with Lagos State. We're talking about startups. And the first thing this guy said, I think he was the Minister for Innovation, Science. And the first thing he said to me is that, Samuel, all the startup founder in Lagos are scams. I said, sir, He said, no, we are not funding you people. I said, what? He said, you people are scams. I said, tell me why. So he gave me a scenario, a story. He said 2 guys came to him. They did not know that they came with the same business proposal. One said he wants to turn cassava to gari, and the other guy, same business model. They want to turn cassava to Gary. The guy with the cassava to Gary from Nigeria, they asked him, okay, so what do you need? And he was just saying all these things. I have the farm, I have this, I can do that, I can do that. What do you need? Okay, what capacity? Show us what you. He couldn't mention anything, but he had all this beautiful pitch deck talking about how cassava can help the people, can change the nation. Gary will come out everywhere. The other guy, I think he was from Zambia or Gambia, came with his own proposal and told them, I want to buy a machine that is this capacity. It will produce this amount of Gary in 1 year, and after 1 year, I would like to buy 3 more, and then when I buy 3 more, it will produce this in 5 years. See, data. The other guy is just talking English. The other guy is talking data. And this is the problem that we're having. You have not bridged the gap between the problem. The problem is there's cassava, there's the farm, but what it is that you cannot convert your cassava to Gary. Simple, straightforward. Convert the problem of not converting cassava to Gary. This is what we need. The storytelling is, if I do this, use this machine in this amount of time, this is what will happen, and then it can become an innovation. The other guy was already talking that by the time he has done it for 3 years, their plan is to start building their own converting machine. Because why? As you bridge the gap, you tell the story, you're now turning that information to say, okay, we can now do the innovation. These type of people inspire digital systems, right? They inspire digital system. In organization, they help institutions make data-driven decisions and design impactful strategies. In communities, they use this data to advocate for change. Some of you are saying you want change in the nation, but you don't even know what is in the nation that you want to change. Some of you are saying we need to do these things, but you still don't know what this thing you need to be doing is. So start asking questions. What is the unemployment rate in my local area? What is the cost of education in my community? You see, when you start asking that kind of question, now you can solve an educational problem in that place. What data do we need to change what we see? Because innovation begins with information. Write that down. Innovation begins with information. Innovation does not begin with the skill that you have. It begins with the information that you have. So I've said all these things about data innovation, spoken about what it means to be a data innovator as a person. And why we at Tech for Good Africa, we have this vision is because there's a synergy between a lot of things we're seeing in technology. A lot of people think about technology in Africa from a place of, oh, let's just build tech, let's just build the app, let's build the software, let's build this. But they don't see the interconnection of the fact that all of these things are around data. From your fintech to that smart city to that IoT device, all of it is around data. So why? At Tech for Good Africa, we believe energy is not just electricity. It's human potential. Remember I told you from the beginning that our data is not in what is under our ground. It's not how we can produce electricity from oil. It's about me and you, who we are. Because it's more about advocating about the numbers of people before you can now tell them that this number of people need electricity in this place. We need to look at the human potential. And that's why we've combined media, data, design, and digital so that we can power transformation. So data innovators, as you are, can help us to map local challenges, whether it's in education, whether it's in the environment, whether it's in economy, to be able to bring about the digital change that we must bring, so that we can build digital solutions from the grassroots, digital solutions that solve problems really. I was sitting with another person yesterday, and I was talking to them about becoming a leader for the ecosystem that we continue to build here. And he said to me, oh, why should I do this? And I said to him, I want you to just build one solution while you're with us. He said, what is the solution? I said, artisans, for example. Everybody keeps building artisan solution based on a booking application. Why are we booking them? Why are we not requesting them? Because I'm requesting my mega to wash my car, and I'm paying him 40,000 naira every month to wash my car. He's not on any platform and he's putting himself there as a car washer. He's a mega in my house and now he's not washing my car. It's a request I sent him. I did not book him. Why are we doing the artisans from this booking place? Why are we not building the technology from the grassroots? Why? Because we have not locally mapped the data of how educated these people are, what is the environment they are living in, and so on and so forth. What is their economy? So that we can build it from the grassroots. By the time I was telling him how we should build the artisan platform for the future, he was just saying, oh, wow, oh, I see it, oh, I get it. We need to strengthen the ecosystem for sustainability and innovation, and the data innovators can help us do that. So as you're part of Tech for Good Africa now and you're becoming an ambassador, one of the things you will be doing is becoming a data innovator to help us do data innovatively. So how can you become a data innovator for your nation? Step one is learn. Learn. Understand data tools and the concept of it. Excel, Power BI, SQL, Python, visualization. All of these tools can help you to be able to foster data better. Start small. Start collecting data in your community. Survey youths. Why are they not doing the right thing? Survey skills. Learn local energy usage. Okay, the market women that are grinding pepper, how much energy do they use? So that I can understand whether I can give them solar energy grinding machine. How much do they consume per day? How many people come to grind their pepper with them? Are people still grinding pepper with them? This kind of data are varying waste patterns. How many times do people waste food in a hotel? They go there, they eat the food every day, they don't finish it. There's always a buffet, morning, afternoon, evening at the hotel. Food is wasting. What do they do with that wastage? How much wastage is it happening? What is the pattern of wastage? Let's take, for instance, toothpaste. How many people waste toothpaste? How many people wasting palm oil? These little things. Fruits. People have fruits in fruit market from Asda, from Ebano, from, I wanted to say Tesco now. Oh my God. The data from the wastage of the fruits from those places can be used to create a new type of fruit juice in Nigeria. We are still drinking Chivita, which is made from concentrates. Oh my God. When somebody could have gone to these places, found out about the wastage patterns of it, and decide that from this wastage pattern, I can start offering 100 bottles of fruit juice to people every week and making good money. What the school needs. Start doing these small things. If you start doing them, you do great things. Now, then create. Turn your data into dashboards. Dashboard that somebody can buy. Dashboard that somebody can use. If you are doing that for Asda, I say Asda now. If you are doing that for Ebano, how much fruit is wasted? Ebano can now decide, you now have this dashboard, you are seeing how much of our wastage is happening, and then you are making fruit juice from it. You know what? We're going to partner with you now to be making fruit juice that is sponsored by Ebano. Ebano has never thought about it before. This is where, if you look at data, you become an innovator. Create dashboard, produce reports, maps, digital tools that tells a story that inspire people to say, we want to solve this problem now because there's a reason, right? And then share this, collaborate. We have the PALS network, Tech for Good Africa, partners, ambassadors, and leaders. And we also use the Echo platform to showcase our finding and innovation. So don't just consume data. Don't just say, I know things now. You know, Nigerians like to be the smartest people in the room. We need to stop being those type of Africans that just consume data. We have consumed everything from ALX, from Udemy, from Coursera. You are the one that have the largest certificates, everything, blah, blah, blah. It's not converting to any change. Become an innovator, not a consumer. So let me just tell a story. I started a mission in my head that I wanted to change the economy of Africa. I got this vision from God a while ago, and I thought to myself, one of the things that gets us to do data, or one of the things that show us our economy, is the financial data of GDP. And I thought, we need to change this. We need to remove this. We need to make our people become more aware of their data so that they can sort of produce data-driven impacts, right? So I want to share with you today about Echo Platform. If you have not joined into it, you need to go and join there and become a data innovator, because that is where your data innovation starts to manifest. Through the Echo Platform, you as an ambassador, you can participate in data challenges which will be launching from organization. So we go to organizations and tell them, how much data do you want to collect? Give our people data challenges. Let them go out there and collect this data and get paid. You can join our Echo Data Annotation Lab, which is a thing we're shaping now, right? We've been talking about this with RemoStart, with other organizations on how do we create the African GPT? How do we create a GPT that when you're chatting with it, you know that this is verified African data, not the one that just giving you something you can use to showcase something. It's real data. We can build such things. You can also earn Echo Points for making sure you're giving us verified data projects. Maybe you did that project now with the University of Ibadan, you did it with the University of Ilorin, you did it with the University of Lagos, and it's more verified now. You get points for putting this data on our platform. You can also access mentorship through our PALS network from data scientists and innovators. And you can connect to our work, which we're trying to do with the Echo Fund, to fund data infrastructure. I just wanted to share this, that as an ambassador, this is not just a platform. This is we turning individuals into community for action. I'm not going to waste too much time on there. Just to share some real life example of how data is becoming innovation. I told you data for Lagos is one. They use open data to map traffic congestion and improve public transport. Another one is Ushahidi in Kenya. They've turned crowdsourcing data into crisis response system. You can check their platform out. Beautiful platform with a map, all of that kind of stuff in there. We also have Echo Africa here, building beyond GDP models using local data to measure well-being and sustainability of our economy. So you as a Tech for Good Africa ambassador, your mission is to champion ethical and inclusive data use in your space, whatever that space is, whether it's you're in the health sector, you're in the agricultural sector, you're in finance, you're in business, you're in whatever you're in. Championing ethical and inclusive use of data. Lead local data drive for sustainability and innovation. We're happy to hear you come to us and tell us, we want to do this drive now to collect data this way. We're happy to empower you to go and collect that data, to get more champions like yourself to collect that data. Share your data story with us. Share your data stories on how that change that you see. Africa can share data stories that change how Africa can see itself. Put it online. I just collected this data and I believe that through this data, people can do better like this. Let people see that data. And then join our network of data innovators under Tech for Good Africa. Remember, there's thematic areas, and this is data session. So you'll be seeing me more in that data thematic area. Every great African innovation begins with someone asking, what if we collect and understand our own data? Money Point is who he is today because he said, what if we could collect and understand why people are always complaining about not seeing their payment instantly? How many of us remember the time we used to do that? You send for phone, maybe you're in the store, they'll tell you to sit down there and wait. You'll not be waiting, you're like thinking. The guy just looked at that. I'm sure he was in the store one day and just thinking, wait, what if I made this thing and people can just that sound alone, ping that you hear, the person that is selling you, that is the person that is sending the money, both of you are happy. Just solve the problem. And look at what he is today, $200 billion, or $200 million worth as a company. So let me end here. Africa's future will not be imported. It would not be inferred. It would not be analyzed. It would not be imported. It would be inferred. It would be analyzed. It would be visualized and innovated from our own data. So it's time we start collecting our own data. I've mentioned about Echo. It's time we start collecting our environment, our community, our organization data. So, guys, welcome to the data revolution. Welcome to Tech for Good Africa. A data innovator doesn't wait for data to be perfect. They organize what already exists, they clean it, and we can transform it into actions together. Thank you so much. I'll take any questions or feedback.
Powerful. Please let's give a round of applause for our president. I mean, that was a handful of wisdom there. Come on, guys. Yes, that was so impactful. Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful session. So, are there questions? Please, you can drop in your questions or you can just unmute and go ahead to ask your question. Questions. I have a question, but I want to wait for. Okay. So we have a question here. So I've been thinking of privacy and on the question of identity, how is it done currently and how does it affect data collection? Abimbola, could you please unmute and just ask your question so we can get the flow of what you're trying to pass across to us? Thank you.
Okay, good evening. Good evening. Thanks for the amazing session. So, someone asked the other time about identity, and I think I was able to gain something from that. So, I've been thinking of context of privacy, especially in our African setting. Most times, the barrier to data collection. So, how do we then reconcile the both of them? Because just thinking about it, it already presents a stumbling block. I don't know if
Abimbola, I think
Um,
that we're is that a, let me just speak to that a little bit, and I'll just encourage everybody to go and check out the Echo platform. I think we're onto something there with identity in Africa and privacy of data. So I believe that the global north, the Western world, when they started to build data, they were building data from an interesting place. One of the things you know with the army is, again, I'm saying Echo, but you know one of the things that the army always says, if you're watching movies, you hear them say Echo Lima Bravo something. Again, if you really are someone that works in the army or know about the army, you know that Echo is something that has to do with the environment. They're saying the location where they are, and it's interesting how they shaped data in that particular way, and so now they're having a problem with should I say, presenting the data now that AI AI now exists. They have a problem presenting it now because everything has now become it's now become more about who has the data, where is the data stored and stuff like that. But I think with us here in Africa, first of all, our identity has not been defined. For example, if you're in the United States, your identity is very connected to your SSN, your social security number, and so anything you do is connected to that. In England, you have your NI number, your national insurance number, and then it's connected to many things that you're doing. In Africa, we have many identity. For example, Nigeria has 5 identity. You have BVN, NIN, voter's card, driver's license, and then your passport. And all of them are not integrated. So someone can come and get NIN in Nigeria now that is not in Nigeria, because there's no integration of that identity. Now, when you're trying to collect data for such 5 identities, for example, I can go to the hospital today and they ask me, do you have an ID? And I give them my passport. They take my passport, they store it. Then I go to the hospital tomorrow, and then when they've taken that number off that by pass. I get to the hospital the next day, they ask me, do you have an ID? I give them my driver's license. They also take a picture, they store it. Now, I get to another hospital that is not that hospital. They ask me for my ID. I give them my passport. Now, they've stored it in that hospital, stored it in this hospital, no synchronization. Different identity across places. Now, if I wanted to integrate the data of Samuel's health record across all these hospitals now, the first thing you're going to face now is a big, huge problem on different identity in these locations, right? I could even change my name and then they can't find me, right? So in Africa, we have the ability, we have the opportunity to shape identity and data integration more effectively. I think we're onto something with that, and we're all in a good space in Tech for Good Africa to be part of such a time as this, where we're launching a platform like the Echo platform, where you're going and you're getting a digital identity as Africans, and then this is our infrastructure to build anything on top of it. So someone said to me the other day, they were logging into the Echo platform, signing up, and they were like, why can't I sign up with Google? And I said, no SSO from Google. We're not allowing Google to sign up you're not allowing people to sign up to this application using Google, because if you sign up with Google, then you're signing up with this integrated data sets that you don't understand. But with the Echo ID now, what you're doing on the platform gives you a data credibility. If you're uploading data to us, we know that you're a more credible person for data. If you're uploading all your identity, you are now verified through those identities. So if a hospital comes and say, we want to build a software, we're telling them, okay, if you're building a software with us, you have to use our Echo infrastructure. So if you have 500 people signed up on this your platform, you are using Echo's API with the identity on your platform. Because why? The 5 identity of this person as Nigerian has been integrated into this. So what we decided to do here in Echo Africa, in Tech for Good Africa, in ATLA, is to first of all build the infrastructure for data before we start talking about all this technology we're building. And yes, some of them have gone far already. They've already built many payment platforms, but we've not seen anything built so much from Africa than payment platform. We're not seeing, well, there's Child Deck now that's giving us plenty food, but we're just spending more money on the food. If you really look at Child Deck, the real infrastructure of Child Deck is Paystack, that is allowing you to make payment for the food. It's not really the application itself, because the application itself, the data of that application, I promise you guys today, take it to the bank. Chowdeck is selling our data of how we consume food in Nigeria. And they're not selling it for any ethical purpose. They're not selling it for maybe we should know how to get farmers to give people better food or get eggs to people at cheaper prices. They're not doing that. What they're doing is they're selling that data to allow Chicken Republic to know where to position themselves to sell more Chicken Republic to you. So you see now that our data is already being skewed, because the only thing we have as our infrastructure for data at the moment is payments. And the bank is also facing a problem with the API, because there's no standardization of API. They're now selling APIs. So we have to create that infrastructure first, that data infrastructure. And I think that's what we're doing here. It's not even I think, it's what we're doing here. Creating that data infrastructure first, so that every other thing we can build on top of it will be layers to build civic innovations that can help that market woman, because she knows now that if I use my Echo ID and sign up into this platform, all the benefit of what I'm doing on Echo fosters into this. The Western people didn't think about that before. What they thought to do was to put fear around identification. So if you commit a crime, I'll carry your SSI, your SSN, I blacklist you, I put this on you, something like that. But there's no way to measure the good that that person is doing in that location, only through credits. It's only if I give you money as a country, you pay me back my money, and that's your credit scoring. But on Echo now, we're doing scoring based on what are you contributing to your environment, what are you contributing to organization, what are you contributing to community, and that builds a score for you to say, if I use this identity to, go into a hospital, I can pull out this person's identity, and the privacy of that person is protected based on what they are interacting with, not based on what this thing said they are. It's protected based on your integration, your interaction. Again, I don't want to talk too much about this, but Abimbola, I hope that you get the idea that we're different. Even though we have the NDPR now, they're still trying to understand data protection. The act already exists to make sure that you're protecting data of people, you're not using the data wrongly. The use of data can only be powered by the integration. That's why APIs are the most highly sold things in the tech and software engineering. APIs is about integration. I told you, Chowdeck is nothing without the integration of the payment of Paystack. That is why you can use Chowdeck. If they didn't have that API from the bank to Paystack to get you to pay for the food, that food is not going to reach you at all. But with that now, they are now able to collect data for how food is consumed in a particular area. You see the API, but now your identity is not there. Now imagine that you had identity really integrated into Chowdeck. I can be able to tell the government what people are consuming properly, because now it's identity. I can now say, okay, this person, this is what you are eating. If I take that identity now, I can pull all the food you have been eating to give health. And that health now can tell us that, you have been eating Chicken Republic every day, every day, every day. That's why you have fat around your liver. But if you don't have that data integrated into identity, which we have the opportunity to develop now, we then be like the Western world, that your identity is now, you went to the hospital, they're now waiting to do analysis, but they didn't know where the problem came from. But if we create that infrastructure now of identity to data, we shape a future that designs our economy. I hope this helps. But guys, join us on the journey. We're going somewhere with these things. And as we're talking it, we're seeing there's a revelation that must come to each and every one of us from it.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir, for that. That was very powerful. I have a question myself. I know you spoke about the Echo platform, and I listened to your session with Tessa Adamo podcast on raising the 100 billion for Africa to develop our data infrastructure. And guys, you should check out that interview with Tessa Adamo. So my question is, what is verified data? Now, the Echo platform says that we can report situations or happenings in our community. Now, does reporting those problems automatically makes that data verified, or are there going to be measures we need to put in place to ensure that the problem or whatever that person is echoing is actually right? Because doctors spoke about having data that are inaccurate. And if we allow people to just come on the Echo platform to put in what they feel is wrong with the community, or wherever they are, does that make it right? Or are there measures we can put in place, or are there measures we are putting in place to ensure that those data are correct and verified? Thank you. That's my question, sir.
Tammy, thank you for asking me that question. And you're part of the community, so we're on a journey together. Hopefully, we can wrap this up soon. So, verified data, and I'm not going to talk about verified data as using the word verified. I'm going to talk about verified data based on the ECHO model. Verified data based on the ECHO model refers to trustworthy, community validated, and identity linked data produced and managed through ECHO Africa, right? Um, Specifically, we have some tools. I've mentioned one of the tools today, which is Echo ID. Your Echo ID needs to be able to say, okay, as Echo ID, each user is verified based on the organization I work with, the young people that I work with. Let me put it this way. At the moment, every one of you are on social media. So what you use to verify the things you're doing is the amount of likes you get. But that likes is giving you nothing. I promise you, it's giving you nothing. It's giving you no integration. It's not giving you anything. It's just giving you likes. It's making you feel good about yourself. Some of you are even taking things you wrote from ChatGPT, posted it on LinkedIn and Instagram. You are getting thumbs up. You're like, yeah, I have followers. You are accepting somebody that liked you because they went to research you. You're like, I have 2,000 people. But those 2,000 people did nothing for you. On the Echo platform, what we're trying to do is, if you do something, if you went and picked up plastic with your friends, they can verify you now, and when they verify that you picked up that plastic, you've done two layers there. One, you've verified yourself as someone that picks up plastic in the environment. Secondly, you've verified the fact that plastic was picked up from that place. You see the verification now is layers. So verified data is authentic, traceable, and community validated data. So one is the authenticity. I did this. We can trace it now to, what did you do it for? Did you do it for the environment, the community, or the organization of this location? Now, you to the Echo, your identity, authentic, this is what I did. Now, we can trace it to a particular Echo, and then it is validated by the pals around you, which is partners, ambassadors, and leaders. So if a partner verifies you, that's a company, that means you have a higher verification. If a leader verifies you, which is a mentor, somebody that is already a leader on our platform, somebody that's already done so much and grown to become a leader, then your leadership, your verification is higher. If other ambassadors verify you, you're having the basic verification. Now, we have also put in there AI verification, where the AI just verifies you based on, this is the right thing to do. You know, because again, the AI can tell, if you wrote that I planted trees, 2,000 trees, the AI can say, great work. This is positive, verified for environment. I helped train some kids today in Makoko on better ways of being a good citizen. Positive community. I helped this organization build a landing page. Positive organization impact, right? It can do that. It also, we've integrated the UN SDG goals so that it is related to the sustainability of that location. So you can see how we did the ECO into the different UN SDG goals. So if it's things like life on land is environmental, gender equality is organization, end poverty is community, better education is community, and so on and so forth. So there's a metrics on how these things even give you points based on what you're doing. Now, these things connect, one, identity, it connects sustainability, and then creates trust. Because remember, I mentioned 3 levels. One is authenticity, your identity. Traceability, which is sustainability. I can trace it now to whether you did it for the environment, community, and organization. And using the UN SDG goals, I can connect it. And then the final part is trust, which is, if it's 16 of you here now, after I finished this session, I posted it on Echo platform that I just did a training on data. 16 of you verified me. If you verify me, I'll get points for that verification. If somebody else wanted to use me, they'll see that I got points for doing this thing for the community, right? But we don't have that right now in the continent. We are just using social media, and we're just medializing ourselves and not getting anything from it. So why don't we change the concept? Which is why we're focusing on this verified data, because the more we start to see this, the more we can say, okay, if we've done authenticity of an individual, and we can trace where this individual did it, and we can see that the community verified them, then we can know that this thing really happened in that location. I can, I don't need to go and pull data. Now, the next level of why we're talking about these data innovators now is we want to start collecting data real life, and you uploading it to us. So by uploading data to us that, oh, I went to collect data from this location, you are now a high level person on the Echo platform. You become part of the high level people on the Echo platform. So there's levels to it. How do we verify it? I mentioned Echo ID, the data pods, making sure that we're able to collect data from communities, the platform itself as an infrastructure layer to integrate into other things, and then the Echo score that builds the trust and the credit layer of why you are credible in a location. I want to speak a little bit to this Echo platform as an infrastructure layer. So yesterday I told you about this artisan platform that we're trying to build. And I said to the guy, we're building this artisan platform. Every artisan needs to go and get an Echo ID before they can use our artisan platform. Why? When you come on the artisan platform, all you have to sign in into the platform is your Echo ID, because it's already an infrastructure. So we build the Echo, the artisan platform with the API of this identity. So you just come in, and again, APIs are very important in our coming future. You come in and you just type in your Echo ID and it just logs you in, because the API is already integrated. What you are doing on the Echo platform, you just have to come on this platform and sign in. And as you sign in, you can scroll through requests that are close to you. And as you're scrolling through these requests that are close to you, if you select maybe plumbing, I want to come and do your plumbing. Now, me as a person using this artisan platform, I can request to want to have low-level artisans, mid-level artisans, or high-level artisans. Now, if I'm a low-level artisan, I want somebody that is just learning how to be a plumber. So if you come now and you are not a, if you are a high-level artisan, you won't choose such a thing. You want to go for the one that you have had experience 10 years as a plumber, maybe you even have a certification as a plumber, and so on and so forth. Now, if you are a low-level artisan and you try to select that high-level artisan, maybe I live in Ikoyi and my plumbing in my house is done by some high-level Julius Berger people, and you're trying to tell me you can come and fix it, and you select that high one and you come and you do nonsense. If I blacklist you, it goes back to your Echo platform as your score has reduced, because it's now verification again. Now, you see now that the identity now is now creating a level for me to, okay, so if I now do that, the platform now tells me, okay, because you have done this, we've reduced you back to low. As you are in low now, take this training and become a better plumber. Now, what have you done for an individual there? You have made their identity even become more authentic than trying to punish them and somebody shouting at them and saying, oh, you're not a good plumber, you're not a this, when you can actually take them on a journey to become a high-level plumber. And by doing that, they can now say, okay, I grew to become this high-level plumber. I can now earn more, higher money from doing this. Now, so verification is from authenticity. You can trace it, and then you can now be able to verify it by the people that are around it. I'm authentic. I'm Samuel Efosa Austin, founder of Echo Africa, president of Tech for Good Africa, principal at ATLA. I can't say those things if all of you now don't verify that I'm those things, which means Temi works with me as a community manager in Tech for Good Africa. Ugochi is a leader, a sub-leader in Tech for Good Africa. Aramide is a leader in Tech for Good Africa. These people, if I went somewhere and said, I'm this person, they can say, yes, we know Sam now. That is community verified. Now, how do you now verify? Is what I'm doing. I'm now doing a training in Nigeria, traceable. Now, I'm authentic by what I'm offering. I'm now offering this. Now, how do I showcase this? I can finish today now and decide, oh, you know what? I have Ugochi, Aramide, Temi Oluwa on the Echo platform as my pals. They are leaders there. I'm going to go and post this training I did, take this picture, post it there. I want to get my 20 points for doing it today. And then they go, I send it to them that verify me for doing this. They verify me. As soon as they verify me, I get my points. And I go away with my points. Now, the point of where we're trying to go with this is that as we're able to do this, we can now convert that point to say, buy something on ChildDeck, because ChildDeck has now integrated Echo ID into them. Buy something, get a thing from the government, get access to education, get something from Udemy to increase my authenticity. Maybe now I need to do an MBA, and all your verification allows me to now do an MBA at Lagos Business School. These are the concepts of how we should build Africa. That's the journey we're going on. I hope this helped Temi to explain a little bit about verified data and where we're going with it. Again, It matters because we need to build trust. It matters because our finance needs to be more inclusive. It matters because we need to create sustainability. It matters because with this, we can help governments and organizations make evidence-based policy decisions on things that they should be doing. In simple terms, verified data in ECHO framework means data you can trust because it's tied to real people, validated by real communities, and structured through technology that respects Africa's unique identity. I hope this helped.
Wow, thank you very much, sir. That was powerful. Just sorry, my network has been messing with me, but I think it's very clear. Verified is verified in its sense, and not also verified, not in the sense of verification. So I'm sure as we go further in this journey, it becomes very clear for each and every one of us. Thank you very much. Please, guys, I want us to give a round of applause for our speakers today. You have done a great job in educating us on how or why data is good and how to do data for good. So we'll be moving to our feedback session now, to our mentee, as it is our normal way now. Our interactive data collection. Again, this is why we are doing this, because we need your data. We need to improve even as a community, and that is why this data that we are going to be collecting is important. So you know the drill. Let's go to menti.com. It's simple, menti.com. And please, sir, can we see the screen with the code? So when you go to menti.com, all you need to do is just put in that code 14753567. 14753567. So the first question is, where are you joining from? Are we there? If we're on the platform, please, I want us to be quick with it. Let's get it done, and we move to the next session. Where are you joining from? Just pin the location from where you are joining from. So, Mr. Sam, what's the update with people that have done their pinning?
There's only one person that has joined in. I can only see one
Oh,
person.
guys,
I'm sure we can all see it is one of one. So that means a lot of people have not joined in. You need to go on the menti.com and use the code. Just type menti.com and put in the 1-4. 2 people have joined in now. Okay. Again, guys, we can see if you have joined in. So we should be seeing 19 people. Okay, 3 people have joined in now. You can also use the QR code as well. You can also use the QR code if you're using your computer and they have a phone. You can use your can just use the QR code as well. But
yes,
also
so just
okay, Tim has also posted it there on the chat.
let's be quick with it, guys. Just pin where you are joining from. So in 30 seconds, we'll be moving to the next question. So Ori, just go to menti.com on your phone. Menti.com. Just go to your browser. Okay, we have it already. Menti, menti.com. And then you put in, copy this code that is in the chat box, and then just put it in it, and you go straight into the platform. So guys, 20 more seconds, and we move to the next question. 20 more seconds.
Let's get more people now. We have only 6
Sir?
people. We only have 6 people.
Wow, we are 18. We have 18 people on this call, guys.
Please, can you spell the menti.com? Because I'm seeing mentimeter.com.
It's just meti.com.
MENTI.com.
Sorry. menti.com.
Yes.
Okay, we have 18 people, but only 8 people have joined the Menti. So that the others are not willing to join. Should we move to the next question?
Let's just hold for another 30 seconds. Guys, please, let's do this. Let's do this.
Okay, 9 people now.
Please, the code 14753
Five,
547.
No,
567.
Okay.
14753567.
Uh,
Okay, I think we should
I
move now.
think we
What do you
should
think?
move to the next question. Yes, sir.
Okay. Hmm? Okay. Don't know why it's showing me that. Okay. I'm on the next question, Tammy.
All right, sir. So, where are you? I can't. Okay, what technologies would you like to see deployed in Africa's data sector for good? So, guys, this is our opportunity to tell us what you think we need to do, technologies that you'd like to see in improving Africa's data sector. You can see that we have a lot of work to do. Just put in what you think we need to do. Guys, let's be quick with this. Let's be quick with this. We have just 1 minute to go. How many responses do we have now, Mr. Sam?
Only 5 people have responded. I wonder what the remaining 8 of them are doing. Only 5
Guys,
people have responded.
let's put in the pressure. Let's put in the pressure. I'm sure we all want to see some good in our data sector in Africa. This is a chance to do that.
Is those who don't have. That's interesting. I love that. Those who don't have.
Guys, we have 30 seconds and we move to the next session. The next question, rather. 30 seconds. Oh, well done, Judith.
Read 1 and read 5. I wonder what that is. Okay, I think everybody has answered now.
All right, let's move on to the next question,
AI
sir.
that is unbiased. AI that is unbiased to Africa. Love that.
Beautiful. I think we can go to the next question.
Okay. Okay. I'm on the next question.
Apologies for the break. So our next question is out there. How can Tech for Good Africa do more in African countries? Data for good. Guys, let's write as much as we can. In fact, how can Tech for Good Africa do more? What capacity do you think we can serve in the African countries doing data for good? One minute, guys. 1 minute more. So I think everyone should have dropped in their responses by now. If you have dropped your response, just give a thumbs up in the chat, and so we can move on to the next session. "30 seconds, and then we move on to we round up this session. All right, thank you, Judith. All right, thank you, Abimbola. So we've come to the end of the interactive data session. So we are just going to be moving on to the next session. Oh, we have gone past that. So sorry about that. So there's always the next time. So right now, as it is our culture, I'll be inviting our president, Mrs. Samuel Efusa Austin, to talk to us about Tech for Good Africa and what we do at Tech for Good Africa. And it's important for us to know this. It's important for this to become tangible, even in our minds. So this will drive us to be the ambassadors, the leaders, and partners that we ought to be. So with applause, let's invite Mr. Samuel Efusa Austin, our wonderful data innovator. Guys, let's give it up for Mr. Samuel.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm just gonna rush through this one. I've said it a million times, and I'm happy to always say it again about Tech for Good Africa. And very interesting enough, where even as we do Tech for Good Africa, we see more about what we're supposed to do. I was just reading some of your comments now about what we should be doing for data, and it just hits me that we're such a data-driven community, and I think it stems from the president being such a data-driven human being. But there's more. There's design. What would we call the design guys? Would they be design innovators too, or would they be design? I'm looking for a word to call them. What would you, because it seems now we're calling data innovators. What would we call the design guys? Would they be design thinkers? So they think design from a sustainable place. What would we call the media guys? Would they be media warriors, so that they are more like journalists and they are doing media for warriors? Would we call the digital guys digital nomads or digital shapers? What are we calling them? This feedback we need from you as well. Good designers, I love that. So designers for good. So good designers. Vincent, no problem. I'll speak up some more so you can hear me and even move closer to the mic. Design for good designers. I love that. What would we call the energy people? Would they be called energy shapers? What would we call the education people? Educators, good educators, educationals. I don't know. But as we go on, we're shaping a beautiful world, and that's what just makes me happy. It makes me happy. Guys, give me a second. I'm having a bit of an issue here with moving my slides, so let me just share it all over again. Cool. Let's go. Boom. All right. Cool. If it's your first time being here in Tech for Good Africa, please just raise up your hand in the emoji. Just give me a raise up hand in the emoji. I see 16 people on the call. If this is your first time being on the Tech for Good Africa Enter All Into Tech program, please raise up your hand. And Temiolua, please take note of those people. If this is your first time being on this session, okay. If this is your second time, raise up your hand. If this is your second time, raise up your hand. We'll catch you eventually. You don't gonna be forming like we don't know who you are. If this is your second time, raise up your hands. Okay, thank you. If this is your third time, okay, second time, awesome. If this is your second time, if this is your third time, raise up your hands. If this is your third time, raise up your hands. Your third time, raise up your hand. Okay. If this is your fourth time, raise up your hands. This is where we'll catch you now. If this is your fourth time on the Enter All Into Tech program for good, raise up your hand. Guys, I should be seeing more hands now. If this is your fourth time, raise up your hands. Only Aramide. Where's everybody else? What the rest of you, where were you joining in? Ugochi is raising all our hands. How many hands are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like 10 hands. Ugochi, I see all your hands. Vincent says second time. Okay, you know what? If this is your first time, second time, third time, fourth time, I want you to put the time that you are on the chat. Whether it's first time, whether it's second time, whether it's third time, whether it's fourth time, write it on the chat while I move forward with this presentation. Just write it on the chat. Tammy, please push for everybody to write down on the chat as well. All right, thank you guys, everyone. Thank you so much. All right, let me move forward. Tech for Good Africa. Again, Tech for Good Africa, we're a movement of innovators. As you've seen today, we've seen data innovators, leaders, and change makers across Africa. What we're doing is using technology as a force for sustainability, inclusion, and good, right? And when we talk about good, it means equity. It means fairness for everybody, right? We're building an Africa's future where verified data, civic tech, and leadership is the forefront of things. We're using verified data. We're building technology on those verified data that help people to be more civic driven. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. I'll just take a pause here to tell you a little bit about that. Today, China, and everybody talks about it. If you go to China, there are some apps that don't work in China. There are some things that don't work in China. And what they did with that is that they built a civic technology. And because of that, China today can stand and tell America, we're not afraid of you, throw us a bomb and see if we don't destroy you or something like that. And I'm not saying that we should become that type of African people. But imagine building verified data and building, Tammy, you want to mute? Let me just mute you. Okay. Building verified data and then civic tech on top of that data that allows leadership to function. So we're building Africa's future with this verified data infrastructure so that we can build civic techs on top of it, not just technology that makes us civic aware, civic believers in our country, that then allows us to become leaders, right? Many of us are leaders, but who are you leading? You cannot even lead your civic people, so who are you leading? E equals MD cube is our framework. Energy and education is equals to media, data, design, and digital. These are the structures we use to shape how we're tracking the impact of what this technology is doing for sustainability, inclusion, and equity in locations, and building that verified data of civic technology for leadership. What are our ethos here? We believe technology is a civic duty. Technology is not just a tool, it's a duty to us to make technology work for us as a country. As much as it's an innovation, it is our duty to use technology for good, right? So that is what we believe. Another thing we believe is that Africa's problem requires homegrown, human-centered solution. Take it very importantly, human-centered, not a thing created by robots, but human-centered, homegrown solutions. Data, identity, and design are the new drivers of our prosperity here. We look at data, we look at identity, and we look at how we can design that to create a prosperous Africa. I always say this as God did, which means you must be able to get the right data of yourself to be able to shape the identity that can help you to design your world. Leadership is not just about controlling people. For us here, we believe leadership is about empowering people first before empowering yourself. In Nigeria, what they are taught to tell you to do is that you have your money first before you can now say you are helping others. That is a lie. That is not what we do at Tech for Good Africa. We do not accept such thoughts. Our ethos is that leadership is about empowering the community first before you even empower yourself. Think of them first. Jesus died on the cross first, and now he's seated at the right hand of Jesus, the right hand of God. He's also Jesus, also God. He's seated at the right hand of God, advocating for us now. But if he did not die for us first, he won't be able to have that leadership position of advocating for us. So before you can say you are an advocate for something, before you can say you are solving that problem in energy, in media, you are solving that technology problem in data or design, whatever it is, empower a community first before you are empowered. That's our ethos here. Our values are we deliver value by empowering ambassadors like yourself with knowledge, with a space where we can lead together. We train leaders to drive sector transformation using our ethos. We partner with organizations to scale civic tech solutions that are related to whatever they do. And then inside of it is embedded the Echo platform and the Echo ID for verified data impact. So far, our programs are, we do the International Women's Day in Tech, which will provide championing women leaders and innovators across the nation, brought in by Noble Olamide, that still have our hands up, even though everybody's hands have come down. And we have Strategic Leadership Forum, which we do every year, which is high-level dialogue around leaders and decision makers for policy. We have ESG in Tech, which comes up in January. This year is going to be powerful. We're going to be talking about green leaders and how you can become a green leader. I can't wait for everybody to join in ESG in Tech. If you want to even join into the planning for ESG in tech, Ugochi, I see you playing a big role in ESG in tech in January. So make sure that you are part of the planning session. Follow up with Temi Oluwa to make sure that you're part of that as an ambassador. And any other ambassador wants to join into the planning of ESG in tech. It's our first program we do in the year. After this program we're having now, we relax for Christmas and we start January with ESG in tech, and we move on to IWD, and then we'll move on to Strategic Leadership Forum, and there's a think tank circle that we create some policy paper on, and then we do I'm missing something now. Okay. Oh, yeah, we're planning to do a conference next year. We've not put that here. See it in my next slide. And then we end up with, again, coming back to the beginning of the year of, again, getting more people to enter all into tech for good. And we have our ATLA Academy, which is shaping things like data innovators for sectors, or shaping things like design, digital, and tailoring them to sectors. So if you are joining our academy, you will be doing it based on the sector. So if it's manufacturing you want to go into, is it consumer good retailing you want to go into, whatever it is you want to go into, we help you shape technology for that sector for good. Some of the upcoming program we have is AI for Good. This is really becoming a thing now. We're seeing so much about the data for it. We're talking about African GPT. I've mentioned today, we're working with a company now on something I can't really talk about, but African Intelligence. Who told you that we accepted AI? Again, it's as if we're saying it to the Western world. Who told you we accepted AI? And we're shaping something called African Intelligence using the ECHO model. Data for Good is another one. Green Tech Leadership Program, which will stem from after we finish ESG in Tech in January. We're going to start that leadership program where young people that have sustainable solutions in technology that's focused on green, they can submit and be incubated in Tech for Good Africa to become leaders in those thematic areas. We cannot let them stop. If it's agriculture, whatever software that they're building or application that is going to be about green, we're happy to incubate them in Tech for Good Africa. We're doing the Digital Governance Lab, which is about creating data sets for government that can help them to do better. EchoCon is our convention we want to do next year. It's going to be a huge convention. By the grace of God, we are going to do that next year. We have the EcoBank Initiative, Future-Facing Financial Inclusion and Green Bank platform, which is coming from our points, our credits. All these things will happen in our upcoming development. And then there's a single currency simulation, which is data-driven model for regional integration, something you will see more as you be part of this community. So you don't want to not be part of this community. You don't want to tell others that they should also be part of this community, because there's something happening in this community that will take you to a future of legacy. We're not building things for just, let's just have a community. It's a legacy community where you can move from being an ambassador to a leader. And as a leader, the type of leader you become, whether it's green, whether it's social, whether it's sustainable, will determine whether we partner with you to do more for other ambassadors. You see what you can grow from an ambassador to a leader, and as a leader, we help incubate you to become a partner. You see, I'm Echo now. I started as an ambassador. You were not there when I started. It was me and Jesus alone. And then I'm now a leader here. And now I have other leaders with me as well. I want each of them to also have companies that they can all come back and become partners. Some of them are already partners. People like Olamide is already funding ambassadors already. People like Michael's, they're already contributing design. Aramide is using her business as a executive assistant to send you emails that you're getting to join this program. So you can see that they're already, as leaders, becoming partners to empower the ambassadors again. So you're in the right space. Now, as you finish this, each and none of you are Tech for Good Africa ambassador. You have to join 3 programs already to even become that. So make sure you have joined 3 programs. Make sure you have done 3. And I don't know if you have written it in the chat how many you have joined. Temi is taking, his eyes are like laser eagle eyes. He's checking whether you have joined these 3 programs. And why? You become a Tech for Good ambassador. And with that, you can have passion and vision like myself. Don't say you don't know what you're supposed to be doing in life. Don't tell me that you don't know what you're supposed to be doing for Africa. Don't tell me you are looking for, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. It's a lie. Being part of such a community, you will see clearly that you're supposed to either be doing sustainability, green, social, or economics. You will know clearly that that's what you're supposed to be contributing through technology. There's even a formula for you to understand which place you want to enter. Do you want to do energy, education, media, data, design, digital? You cannot tell me you don't have passion or vision for changing the technology scene in Africa. You are that ambassador. So start, we'll give you a badge when you're done. You can put that badge on your LinkedIn to go forward and tell the world, I'm now an ambassador for doing tech for good, and I'm going to be doing tech for good using this. We're going to be using tech for good, using media. I can see Ugochi is already doing great things on LinkedIn using media and data, using media and this, and I'm going to do it for sustainability. Amazing. That's what we want to see. So what is your journey? Join us, build with us, lead with us. You are now an ambassador. Your journey begins with you first signing on the Echo platform, getting your identity. Now tell you about your actions, the actions you're taking. And you see, Aram Media has already started coming up with a plan for us, telling us as leaders of what we should do for you guys and as ambassadors, where we can shape your actions, becoming impact through the Echo platform, right? And together we can create this new economy, an economy of sustainability, where we are protecting our resources for the next generation, where we are leading together properly, and where we are innovating always for our community. Remember, I just did the echo there: sustainability for our environment, leadership in our community, and innovating for our organization. Start as an ambassador. Join a thematic area in the community, whether it's energy, whether it's media, data, design, or education. Receive your badge, register on the Echo platform, and progress from leader to partner. It is your time, right? So become an ambassador today. Join the next session. Don't miss it. Next Friday again at 5 p.m. We'll be doing not education for good. Sorry, that was a mistake. Next week we'll be doing design. Wow, I can't wait for design. It's going to be so much fun. I already have the person in mind that's going to come and talk to us. It's going to be exciting. Fill out our feedback form. We'll send one to you after this call. You must join 3 sessions to gain your badge and join the community. Invite others to join this community. We need more people. We need more people to have new mindset, to be gaining this thing you are learning, this mindset they should also be getting it. Share what you have learned today on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Mixlr, your church, WhatsApp group, your community, your WhatsApp, your LinkedIn. Tag us. We are loud about what we are doing at Tech for Good Africa. We are not keeping quiet. We are loud at what we do at Echo. We are loud at what we do at ATLA. Together, we can power Africa's journey through technology, sustainability, and innovation. If a company is not building innovation that is helping the people in this civic company, in our country, we should remove them. And that's what China is doing. If you are a tech company that's not, we are removing you. That is what we want to build here from Tech for Good Africa. Let's create a space where everyone can lead together. Thank you guys so much. I'm praying that this passion that is in me, this vision that's in me, runs in all of your mind as well. And together, we're shaping a world that, in short, we're shaping an Africa that the world has never seen. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Over to you, Tammy, as we close.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. A round of applause for yourself, guys. Thank you for staying to the end of this meeting. It's been exciting so far, honestly. I'm pumped with energy and so much inspiration. I have a lot of things I want to discuss with Mr. Samuel, regarding this Echo platform. And every time I learn about it, it's just putting, bits of inspiration in my mind. And I'm sure that is what is happening to all of us. A special shout out to Uguchi for taking that challenge on to put out the sustainability edge. Honestly, she has done a great job and she's firing, like Mr. Samuel said, and that is what we want. That is what we desire from our ambassadors. They should, come up with initiative. That idea that you have been bringing in your mind, put it out there. Put it out there. Don't just keep it, locked in. We need innovators, not just in data, but in all sectors, in energy, in education, in media, in digital, in data. Thank you guys for joining. I also want to appreciate all our leaders. This is Olamide, Aramide, Michael, Abubakar. Some of them dropped out of the call, probably because of maybe their network. But these guys have been the one doing the real work underneath to making sure that our sessions are beautiful. So I just want you guys to give a round of applause for them in the comments. And yes, please appreciate them. They are doing a lot to make sure that our experience is seamless. So to get the recorded session, it's on YouTube. So guys, ensure you join the community with the email that's been sent to you. We have a new community. Please go and join them. Go and join it now. go to your emails, check your emails, and join and come and be a part of this new change. All right, so we've come to the end of today's session. So, guys, please, after this session, just go to your LinkedIn, put it out there. Like you said, we are loud about what we are doing here. Let our tech be good. We are doing tech for good. Let it be loud. Let the whole world see what Africa is building, and we're going to get there. All right. Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Just to keep you around. Every word I think sounds real beside you. I'll be the smoke whenever you need the fire. Enough is enough, but I can't call you mine. Oh, I let you down. Just to keep you around. Just to keep you around. Just to keep you around. Like where our shadows cross. You try to move on, but I held the loss. We keep falling when we least expect. You wanted the pain, but I made you regret. Show me your face, it burns in my veins. You're loading the truth, and I take the blame. It's time to let go, but I call your name. I know you want the best, and I feel the same. But I let you down just to keep you around. Every word I think sounds real beside you. I'll be the smoke whenever you need the fire. Enough is enough, but I can't call you mine. Oh, I let you down. Just to keep you around. Just to keep you around. Just to keep you around. Wanna take a walk tonight, back to the shore where we said goodbye. Shared a bottle, sang